And I'm still grinding because the next kid is talking about he getting too old. Keep watching me if I am. Nobody ain't got to convince me of what I do. I do what I do because I do what I do, because I'm built from something. And man didn't create it. Every one of you men in here have that opportunity, man. But ask yourself the question personally, how much time you really wasting? For real. Or do you really represent this? I represent it because it's all I have. It's the only brotherhood I ever been formed to. That's why when I see y'all perform on Saturdays, that is my peace. That's why I run to the hotels. I don't need to talk to nobody before my game. I just need to see what I once came from. I sat in these same chairs you guys sat in, man. I sat around the greatest athletes in the world. And then I found myself totally different because everybody was asking the question, who is this kid? Oh, pissed off again. Another thing added to the chalkboard. I'm not asking nobody in here for nothing today. I'm not. I'm just sharing my story to tell y'all, every time you think somebody got it good, man, it ain't always good. Some people just make up their mind and they just grind and say the heck with it, man. Because sometimes that's all you can do.
It's all about. Tell me what it's all about. It's all about the youth. Go Kings.
The inspiring words from former Hurricane linebacker and current Baltimore Raven Ray Lewis. Now motivation should not be a problem this week as the Hurricanes take on the Florida State Seminoles. But being inspired all season has been wide receiver Tommy Streeter. And we now continue with his story.
He catches a back pad on the sideline against North Carolina.
Harris throwing deep down the sideline. It is caught by Streeter. Did he hold on? Yes, he did.
I guess North Carolina was kind of a breakout game for him. And then all of a sudden, as it happens in Miami all the time, you know, it takes on a persona of its own.
Harris to Tommy Streeter.
Touchdown, Tommy Streeter.
And all of a sudden, you know, touchdown Tommy Streeter, or stretch him out Streeter. And then I immediately said to him, like on Tuesday of that week, wait a minute, your name is Thomas. We're calling you Thomas, okay? Because the same guy that worked really hard to get these results needs to remain the same.
I remember it was a time where I was peaking and getting better each week. And one thing that stuck with me, he sent in an email to me and Coach McDonald.
I was afraid of it taking on a life of its own and him forgetting, you know, what really got him to this point. So I thought a poem by Kipling called If would be appropriate and would apply to that.
If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too.
You know, I think he understood exactly what it meant.
You got to maintain that focus because it's very easy to get caught up in, you know, things that's in the newspaper. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two imposters just the same.
I think that quote really sums it up. You have to learn to treat triumph and tragedy the same, and it's ultimately it's the process that endures.
You have to reassure yourself and know your purpose that, you know, the journey, you've only come halfway. You haven't completed this journey.
When it comes to, I guess, my son, because of the type of personality he has, he don't really do well to the hollering and screaming. He does well, or does better, when you have a coach that can speak a positive word, that can touch your spirit and allow that spirit to change and to be uplifted and to say, you know what, I can do this.
He responds better to the upliftment of this is what you can do as opposed to always saying, you know, this is what you're not doing.
And that doesn't mean withholding the truth. I think kids want an honest assessment and they want to know where they're at.
I yelled on the sideline after a touchdown because it wasn't the right thing.
You can't freelance. You made a play, but you can't do that. All right? Come on.
As long as you give them the plan. In other words, don't give feedback or negative reinforcement, but not provide a plan for them to move forward. And I think that's what, in this case, George does really well, and I think our coaches do really well.
Seeing him have success on the field is such a blessing to me, to be able to look and see where he has come from, see where his hard work is paying off.
Touchdown, Miami! What a catch by Tommy Streeter!
I feel like my success has been a testimony So, everything I've gone through, just me keeping my faith and not getting down on myself.
So it's just, to me, a great big blessing to be able to see that smile on his face and know that he's doing something that he loves.
Having a new coach in this instance, somebody that believed in him like George has and like Jet has, and of course the young man's willingness to embrace the new challenges and the new way of doing things has ultimately led to his success.
Harris on a play fake. He's going to throw the ball deep for Thomas Streeter.
That ball that he got to the other night, I didn't know if he was going to catch up to that ball.
He ran a seam read, and he's running down the field, and the ball's in front of him, and he reaches out and catches it with his hands.
It's out there. He's got it at the 40, at the 30, down to the 25-yard line.
He's honoring the process. The same process that delivered him this success, he's now honoring. And I think it's a great lesson for our whole team, our whole organization.
At the Virginia game, I was kind of down because I felt like I could have made that last play.
For Streeter, it is off his fingertips. Off his fingertips, he had it and couldn't bring it down. In the end zone with 9 seconds to go.
I had to put that behind me, and my family was there to support me, and my niece, her smiling just picked my spirits up.
That's the encouraging part of it, to know that you have a family and you do have a support group behind you.
Having your family close cuts to reality pretty quickly. I think in this case, as disappointed as he was in the final outcome, I think any moment that you can have with your family and your nieces is a moment to cherish.
Having that support system around him, especially what he's been through, I think that's really helped him the most, and I think that keeps encouraging him, because I think he understands how special it is to finally have some success on the athletic field at the University of Miami, and then have his family there to be able to support him and to keep encouraging him to continue.
Ever since I've been here, my family's been there. Whether I was playing or not, they've been in the same position. They welcome me after the game. They always been there with open arms and smiles, just consoling me, whether I'm playing or not, congratulating me on victories and picking me up after losses. That's nothing that's going to change with them. We have a strong family, and I love them.
Tell me what it's all about.
Hurricane Game Day is brought to you by the Florida Fan Game. Think the Canes are Florida's #1 fans? Prove it at facebook.com/ShareALittleSunshine.